Hi everyone, and welcome to surefitdesigns, our 39th anniversary. This is a live chat, and I'm Glenda. Lots of you already know me as Glenda the Good Stitch, and for those of you who don't, you'll likely hear me say that a number of times, at least throughout your experiences with surefitdesigns, you will hear that. I'd like to say a very, very big warm welcome to all of you. We have some very, very long-standing customers who have joined us in this live chat today. And for those of you who are new, I hope you become long-standing customers. As I said, this is our 39th anniversary of being in business. And you have to think about that for a minute. We go back to 1982. We definitely started off as an analog company, and we've transitioned over the years into a digital company, and now, of course, worldwide exposure. And you have to wonder, why are we still in business? Why are we so successful? Well, one of the reasons is because of you, our very, very valued customers. I have always said, I have the best customers in the world. I think as a businesswoman, I have been so fortunate to have wonderful people be my customers. And in fact, it's really interesting. About 2 or 3 days ago, I was reading in our Facebook posts, and there was a lady who said, I've had my kits for 40 years. And I said, well, it might not be quite 40 years. I know it's 39 years, but you know what that says? Volumes to me. She is a long-standing customer, has had them a long time, and is still using them very avidly. And why is that? Well, because the product works so successfully, as so many of you around the world can testify to. And not only that, the viability of the company, we've kept up with the times, and we also provide excellent customer service, which so many of you have taken advantage of, and we continue to do that. You know, 2020 was a very challenging year for everybody, individuals as well as businesses alike. And it kind of redirected our focus of how to connect with our customers. So we're all doing a lot more online chatting and making ourselves available to our customers via a virtual environment. And in that regard, we have some interesting things to talk with you about today. So first of all, we want to make 2021 an inspirational year for you. We want to kind of get rid of the old and bring in the new and say, let's do what we can to be happy, healthy, inspired, and supportive of one another. And so we plan to do live chats a minimum of once a month. And we also, and these live chats, by the way, are going to be about 30 to 40 minutes long, and they're going to be completely free. All you need to do is join us at the appointed time. Now, the time will vary depending on the month and the time that we schedule, because I know we have international customers. For some of you, it's very late in the evening. Others of you in Australia and New Zealand, my gosh, I know it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of people watching the replay from those countries, but I do believe Martha is here. And Martha, of course, is our Australian distributor. And in that regard, too, I want to invite you to ask your questions as we go along throughout this chat, because we do have Kelly, my office assistant, and the distributors have joined in, and they are here to answer your questions. And then at the end of the chat, we will be bringing over the laptop, and I will answer any questions that didn't get answered during the entire production. So again, I invite you to write your questions down in the chat window, and we'll do our best to address them as we go along. So we have live chats that are going to happen throughout the year. Another thing that we're going to have is streaming broadcasts. And you might ask yourself, well, what's the difference between a live chat and a broadcast? Well, the broadcast is going to be longer, it's going to be more focused, and it's likely going to be at least 90 minutes long. And the first one is going to come up on March the 20th. and it's going to be focused specifically on the Surefit Designs pants kit. So it's not too soon to mark your calendar. There is going to be a nominal fee being charged to participate in that broadcast, and you'll be hearing more about that in our advertising in Facebook, in Instagram, and as well as I'll be sending you out newsletters, and of course your distributors in our international countries will also send you out information about that broadcast that will be coming up in March. But the focus there will be on the pants kit. So we've got live chats, we've got broadcasts, and in that regard, I want to ask you for your support and help. Every month, I'm going to be doing a live chat, and sometimes I need inspiration. I need ideas about what I can talk about during, 15 or 20 minutes. Today, the lesson is going to be on dividing the dart, but I would really, really encourage you to send me information about what you would like to see happen. And it would be best if you sent it directly to my personal email, which is info@surefitdesigns.com. We're going to have that up on the screen for you, for those of you who aren't familiar with my email address. And write it down and send me that. Send me what you'd like to see happen during these chats, because we would like to make them as focused for your needs as possible. In addition to that, at the beginning of our chats and broadcasts, we want to feature you and your projects that you've made with Surefit Designs. And so take a photograph of what you've made. You can photograph it on a mannequin or on your body, with or without your head. You can chop off your head if you don't want it in there. We'd love to see who you are, though. But if you don't want it, that's fine. Or you can say to me, Glenda, you're welcome to use this photograph, but please cut my head off, and I can do that in Photoshop for you. But I'd like you to send those photos directly to me as well. And then, along with the photo, I would like you to give me a very short paragraph of what kit you used to make the garment, and why are you proud of it, and what new skills did you learn, or any combination of those little comments. I would just like to see what you've learned along the way and why you're proud of what you've done. We have a lot of ladies already posting in our Facebook group, but there's all kinds of you who don't participate in Facebook, and this is one way to have your work shared. And again, it's going to run at the beginning of our chats and broadcasts, and no names will be given, so you don't need to worry about that. But you inspire everybody else in the world when we can see your garments that you've made with Surefit Designs. So again, send your ideas for the content of these chats as well as your photographs directly to me, info@surefitdesigns.com. Okay, so also, how else are we going to inspire you this year? We have a new page in our website, and it's called What's New. And I've asked all the distributors to make sure that that page is also in their websites as well. In the United States, the website is surefitdesigns.com. To find what's new, you'll go across the top navigation till you come to Shop, and then scroll down the drop-down menu, and you'll come to What's New. Now, the information in What's New is going to change periodically as new things come on board. So there's going to be new videos, new free videos going into YouTube. There's going to be, of course, announcements of the chats and the broadcasts, and also something else that I gave you as a gift to get you inspired to go into 2021 is our Sew and Tell Planner. And that is, it's just called a Sewing Project Planner. It gives you 12 months worth of pages for you to plan your projects so that you can really get organized at home, group your fabrics together, your design ideas together, and it's totally free. And I have to give credit where credit is due. that was designed by one of our very valued customers, Deanne Artis, and she offered it to everybody totally as a free gift. Now, many of you in the past couple of years have participated in our Show and Tell offerings before. And we've asked you to put down a unique ID number and a hashtag and, and then to post in social media, particularly in our Facebook private group. Well, we're making it even easier for you this year. All you need to do is take a photograph of yourself in the garment and post it in social media and put in either hashtag Show and Tell or Me Made. And then periodically throughout the year, we will be doing random prizes. These prizes aren't based on construction because obviously I can't see how you've constructed the garment. It's just going to be on your participation, and it's our way of saying thank you for participating. So again, you have to watch for your name being drawn because it's going to be totally random, and we will do these drawings throughout the year. So if you are new to SureFit Designs, make sure you go to either Free Stuff or What's New. Both of them are underneath my shop tab, and get your Show and Tell planner for 2021. All right, a few more announcements is that I would like to make sure that you all know that we have some teachers within the United States now. Over the last number of years, I've had lots of customers say, Glenda, when are we going to have somebody locally in my area that I can go to for support and workshops with SureFit Designs? So despite COVID and the pandemic last year, we trained 4 teachers in the United States. We have Sherry Reese in Houston, Texas. We have Erica Doyle in Sun City, Arizona. Kate Millar in Naperville, Illinois, and Jane Schmidt in Florida. Now, all of them are offering classes this year, starting, of course, in January. Erica's classes are already filling for her January, and people are starting to book into the following months. And they're all offering both pants and dress or bodice fitting classes. And where you can find more information about these ladies is, again, go into surefitdesigns.com and then go all the way over till you come to SFD Teachers and Workshops. And there you'll see the particular states listed, and there will be a direct link in the their specific page going to their workshops. And you'll be able to get their contact information and be able to work with them directly. So I encourage you to do that. And of course, their workshops are all in a very safe and clean environment, and everybody's wearing masks, so all of you should be absolutely fine. Now, internationally, what are we doing? Well, Elsabe in South Africa last year did her first design and sew along, and it is this great jeans jacket that is behind me. I liked it so much that I sewed one for myself. And what did I learn new from having done this project? Well, it's the first time that I've ever blended a knit fabric with a woven fabric. That's number one. And number two, I've done hoods before, but I've not made them detachable. I've always inserted them into the neck edge. So, and the other thing that I learned new is how to hammer buttons onto the garment. I had never done that before, and I was working on a table in my sewing room, and every time I'd hammer, the table bounced, and I couldn't get the button to lock together. So out to the garage where we had a really stable piece of granite, and boy, did I ever hammer those things together. So that was a new learning experience for me. And Elsabe is planning this year to do another design and sew along. She's going to focus it this year on the shirt kit. Excuse me, this was made out of the dress kit. So it's going to be the shirt kit, it's going to be a loosely fitting garment, and she's going to work with chiffon. Now, I've always steered away from working with the really thin fabrics because I don't know how to sew with them. They always get jammed in the throat plate. There's obviously something I'm not doing right. And so Elsa B will be teaching us information about how to work with the thinner fabric and doing a design and sew along with the shirt kit. And you don't need to be in South Africa to participate. These are worldwide design and sew alongs. Anybody from anywhere can participate, and you'll be seeing our advertising coming up regarding that. In Australia, Martha actually is going to be going to Melbourne. Now, she planned on going to Melbourne last spring, or I guess it's our spring here, it's going into their winter there. And of course, thank you, pandemic, everything was shut down and she had to cancel the classes. But all of the people who had already booked with Martha have been incredibly patient. They've waited an entire year. They finally started opening up travel in Australia, excuse me, and Martha's going to be heading back to Victoria at the end of March and the early part of April. So again, please watch our advertising to let you folks in Australia know when she will be there. And I know you'll be excited to see her in person. Again, very small groups and masked and all very safe environment. Judith in the UK, she is our UK distributor, Judith Johnson. She does the UK, Ireland, and the EU countries, and she has started up a new virtual program that is 2 hours long, and anybody who wants a helping hand getting started with any of the SureFit Designs kits, you can book that directly with Judith. I'm sure she has that information up on her website now and available for booking. And Anna and myself, Anna of course is our Canadian distributor, and myself, we are available to work with you in a virtual format, and you can choose how length of time that you want and book that online, and we set aside time. You know, all you need is a device with a camera and either Skype or Teams, Zoom, FaceTime, WhatsApp. As long as we can see what you are working on and doing, we can help you. So take advantage of all of the strides that we as a company has made to connect with you on a one-to-one and make you as successful as the lady who's been using our SureFit Designs kits for the last 40 years. So SureFit Designs is just going to last you a lifetime. And I know you'll just absolutely love working with it once you get over that fear. And when I say fear, that was another post that I read a couple of days ago. I've had my kits for 3 months and I've been afraid to open them up. Don't be afraid, ladies. Gosh, it's no worse than burning a batch of cookies, and it doesn't stop you from baking cookies. You go back and do them again. So get your vellum out, get your kits out, and if you need help, there's help literally all over the world to get you going with SureFit Designs. Now, because it's our 39th anniversary, no anniversary event would be good without some specials in our website. And so for those of you who are new, we've put together what we've called our anniversary combo. It consists of the most popular items in our shop. It's the dress kit, the pant kit, our how-to DVD, a roll of tracing vellum, the designing stylus, and the designer's companion. Every dealer, every distributor is offering this combination at 20% off. And if you already have those items in your SureFit Design supplies and would like to add one of the other kits or some of our other tools, anything that is regular priced on our websites is going to be at 20% off. And no coupon code is necessary. In the United States, we do have a minimum of a $39 spend for our 39 years. And some of the minimum spends in other countries vary, so you'll just need to check those websites and see what they are. Okay, now let me inspire you, and I'm going to show you how to move a dart around. But I have one quick thing I want to say before I forget, is that in our fall last year, Judith Johnson, our UK distributor, put together a bodice fitting photo guide so that you can help us help you when you send your photos in. And lots of people have been following it. It's just amazing. It's great. We show you in this photo guide how to take your photographs so that we get the best visual input so that we can give you back the best information for you. And I said, Judith, this has been so successful, would you please go ahead and do a pants fitting photo guide? So Judith did, and where you can find this, again, is in the USA website. Go to surefitdesigns.com, go over to help, and then down to customer support, and there you're going to see both photo guides for the bodice as well as for the pants. In the pants, we want to see straight on views of fronts, backs, and both side seams. It really helps in our evaluation. Also, when you're on that page, you are going to see a short little video where I explain in more detail about what we need to see and why, so that again we can give you the best feedback on your garment and help you get the best fit possible. Okay, let's go on to the lesson, and we are going to talk about splitting the dart. Let me bring my equipment over here, and we're going to start off with just a basic bodice here. You're going to notice that there's only one line going around the exterior of the pattern. This, of course, will need seam allowances on it once it's done. I didn't want to draw them on. I didn't want to have any more lines there to confuse you. And so remember, add seam allowances at the end if I forget to tell you at the end to do that. This idea came from a customer who said, Glenda, I've got a very large bust and I don't like all of the fabric in the dart extension when it gets pushed down into the side seam, because depending on the fabric that you use, it could be very bulky down there. She said, do you have a video on how to divide the dart into 2 different locations? Well, at that point I didn't. We do now, but I also wanted to go over it in this chat with you to show you how simple this process can be. Now, for those of you who are new to SureFit Designs, how we even got this established with this bust dart is by using our Adjust-A-Bust template. It has on it 6 different bra cup sizes from small A up to large E, and this particular lady was a double D dart. So I'll just lay that on the tracing vellum here. So you can see that's her double D width. So this template, by the way, is found inside the dress kit. Again, for those of you who are new, you might be wondering where I got that from, and it's out of the dress kit. And so the very first thing that you need to do is measure the width of the dart as it ended up once you got it drawn from the template. And this dart is 3 inches wide. So you just want to jot that number down, keep it in the back of your head because you're going to need to know that. We will be dividing it in half. Then what you need to do is say, where would you like this dart to go on your bodice? So it can go into the armhole, shoulder, neckline, center front, or it could actually go down into the waistline dart as well. So you make that determination where you would like your other half dart to go. You do need to draw what is called the designer dart lines. And so I'm going to use a green pen so that, again, you can all see this. And I'm going to draw up to the tip of the apex. That's one designer dart line. Here's the second designer dart line. And now I'm going to move the half of the dart into the armhole. So I'm just going to take a line going into the armhole. You can also see the tool that I'm using, again, for those of you who are new. This is called our line drafter. It is an amazing tool with an attached handle. I know that you're going to love it when you start working with it. And this is something, of course, it's a regular priced item. You'd be able to purchase that on our anniversary special today. Okay, so now I'm going to cut on these green lines up to the apex, but I don't want to cut all the way through, so I'm going to stabilize the dart with a little piece of tape, And what I'm using here, of course, is the indispensable removable tape, because if I tape something incorrectly, I can lift the tape off without ripping the tracing vellum. It is absolutely an amazing tape. So now I've got to start cutting. And it doesn't really matter whether I cut on where I want the dart to go or whether I cut on the designer dart lines. So I'm going to go up to the apex. I'm just using my rotary cutter. Of course, you could use your paper scissors as well, but I'm cutting on the green line. This is the designer dart line. The pink dart that's in here, that's called the dressmaker's dart. I have to move this just a little bit to get the position of my right arm, since I'm right-handed. And I'm cutting carefully on that green line up to the apex. Now I'm going to take this dart and I'm going to remove it. So that was the designer's dart. You just cut it out and remove it. Keep in mind, how wide was your dart? And you don't have to be a full-busted lady to do this. You can do this with an A or a B cup dart. That's just going to help you change the design of the dart position. So it, again, doesn't have to be for just full-busted ladies. And then we're going to open up wherever you have chosen, and I'm just going to, whoops, see, I cut a little bit too far right from that apex, but I'll retape that in a minute. But what I want to do is get approximately 1.5 inches there and there. So now I need to back these openings with tracing vellum. So I'm just going to sit a piece of vellum underneath, and to make it real easy, I'll just move that right out of the way as I put the vellum underneath. And then I think I'll do some stabilizing while I'm here to get these edges down. Always keep your scraps of tracing vellum handy, because you never know when they're going to come in real handy to back an opening or when you're making a design feature here. Okay, so we're all taped down. Now, normally you wouldn't have pulled this away completely because you should have a hinge right here. And I will tape that point again now that I've got that. But you know what I want to do is I want to make sure that I've got 1.5 inches there and I've got 1.5 inches there. So I've got my dart equally divided in two, and I'm just going to tape right there. And then I will add some more tape on the open dart structure and get that all nice and stable. You don't want to be skimpy on the tape because you will be perfecting this dart afterward, and it needs to be well taped down. Now, that's not your finished dart. Right now, I've got these lines going right up to the apex. If I was to sew both darts right up to the tip of the apex, that would look pretty strange on your body. So lots of you know that your dart tip should end back about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And I'm going to do these ones about 1.25 inches. So from the dart tip, I'm going to come back 1.25 inches. And you can see what I'm doing. I'm just evenly spacing that in the space between those green lines. And I'll do the same thing over here at about 1.25 inches right there. Now I'm going to draw new dressmaker dart now. There's that blue line, and here's this blue line. And then I'll do this one. And now we've got 2 new darts to sew that are the dressmaker's darts. Now, after this, when you've got this done, you do need to add on your 5/8 inch seam allowances. And again, for those of you who are new, that is so easy to do with the designing stylus. Just set it in place and repeat the curve and draw with a pencil. In fact, I should mention I've been drawing in these bright colored pens so that everybody can see what I'm doing. At home, make sure you use a pencil because it's totally erasable. So you're going to draw against the edge of the slot on the stylus that's nearest that outside edge, and that will add on our 5/8 inch seam allowances. And you do that all the way around. But then you're going to do what is called perfecting the dart. Perfecting the dart means that you establish the correct dart extension cutting line. I'm not going to do that right now, but we have lots and lots of direction for you on how to do it. This is the dress kit instruction book, and it is found inside the dress kit. And on page 8, there is a paragraph here called Perfecting the Dart Cutting Line. And in addition to that, we also have 2 completely free videos that you will find in YouTube as well as in our Learning Center. Again, for those of you who are new, we have a completely free Learning Center. The web address for that is SFD for SureFit Designs, learningcenter.com. Go into the video library and go under D for dresses. So you can either find these in YouTube or in our Learning Center. And you'll likely want to write these down. Here are the 2 videos that show you how to perfect the dart extension on the bodice. One of them is called Tutorial Perfecting, and then in brackets, Truing, the bust dart extension point. And the other one is called How to Perfect the Dart Cutting Line After Moving the Dart Location. I'll say those again. One of them is called Tutorial Perfecting, Truing, the bust dart extension point, and the other is called How to Perfect the Dart Cutting Line After Moving the Dart Location. Maybe one of our distributors, or even Kelly, if you could write that in the chat, that would be wonderful so that people will have that information to go to. And between those 2 videos and what's written in the dress kit instruction book, you'll have lots of information on how to perfect the dart cutting line so that you get the correct cutting line when it's all said and done. Now, I've got some photographs to show you of how great this actually works in a finished garment. So the same customer who asked this question also was kind enough to send photographs of her finished garment. So yes, she is a full-busted lady, and she has sewn this white top from a knit fabric. And so you can see the 2 darts. There's the one coming out of the bust line, or didn't mean the bust line, I meant the side seam. And here's one coming out of the armhole. And yes, you can see that. But look at the second photograph right here. It's done out of a knit fabric, floral design. You can't tell anything about where those darts are coming out. It's completely camouflaged. So it's a great process to use for full-busted ladies when you want to transfer some of the fullness to a different location. And it also ends up being a great design opportunity for you as well. Okay, so just before we go into me answering questions for you, I would like to review the anniversary special and show you the items that are included in here. Again, for those of you who are new, this is a great place to start, and let me just show you the items that are involved. First of all, there is the dress kit. And as I said earlier, these are the most popular items that are in SureFit Designs. Everybody needs to have great fitting blouses and skirts, and also the second kit that's involved in the anniversary event combo is called the pants kit. It also comes with the designing stylus. It comes with the designer's companion and the how-to DVD. Our how-to DVD is also found in a streaming video format. So when you purchase this, you get the 100% discount code to go to our streaming video website, which is SoFitAcademyOnline.com, and you'll be able to watch it in the streaming format if you don't have a DVD player in any of your devices. And of course, this combo would not be complete without adding a roll of 20-yard vellum into it as well. So these items are all discounted by 20%. It's the lowest we've ever priced this particular combination, and all the distributors are offering it in all different countries in the world. And again, for those of you who are our existing customers, then 20% off all regularly priced items that are in the store that you might want to add, being the line drafter or any other tools or vellum or maybe a kit that you don't already have, and take advantage of that. Now, this anniversary special, all of the special pricing, is going to be available until Sunday night, midnight. So that's January the 17th at midnight. We go back to regular pricing. So, David, it is time for you to bring me over the laptop, and we'll go in and start answering your questions. I hope that you've all thought about some different questions to ask and have been answering them. Again, the distributors have been answering along the way, and Kelly, I have to thank her for this. We are in our home office studio right now, and Kelly is in my other office out in Emmett, Idaho. Thank you very much, David. And here we go. So this might take me just a few minutes. Okay, a question was, is the discount today only? No, it's good through Sunday midnight. Let's see, what else have we got here? Take me a minute just to read the questions. Oh, this is a good question. Comes from Uncluttered Creative. Can the front darts be removed from the pants pattern? Yes, absolutely. If you don't need them, that dart can be divided in half, and half removed at the center front seam and half removed on the side seam. Where you're going to find information on doing that is in the pant kit instruction book under our jeans information page there. How is this shirt kit different from the dress kit? That's an excellent question, Lois. The shirt kit has 5 to 6 inches of ease in the bust line, and the dress kit, which is what I used for the jean jacket, has about 2.5 inches of ease in it. Of course, whenever you're making a jacket or a coat, you increase the ease because we plan on wearing that garment over top of our clothing. So that's one major difference, is the shirt kit has additional ease to it. And another major difference is that the shirt kit does not have a bust dart. That being said, any of you who are really full busted, I encourage you to add a bust dart. Instructions are found in the shirt kit instruction book as well as in our learning center. And then another major difference is that, let's see, the bust dart and the ease. What was the other major difference? I thought there was 3. My mind's gone blank right now. Well, never mind. It is different. It's a much more casual look. And I know what it was, is that the sleeve is wider and broader with a flatter sleeve cap. And so you get a much deeper arm side in the shirt kit. So those are the major differences. Let's see, what else have we got here? Doris Maynard is asking, how much are the kits? It depends on what country you're in. In the United States, this anniversary combo is normally $168.70, and with 20% off, I think it makes it like $134.67. But in every country, the price is going to differ because of obviously their currency, and the distributors have needed to, ship it there and pay for the duties and taxes, but you're still going to get your 20% off. How much is the shirt kit? Well, again, in the United States, I can tell you it's $37.95. Look in the countries of the distributors to find out the exact price. Oh, this is a really good question too, asked by Nadine. If this is our Nadine in Florida, hi Nadine, I've been watching the garments you've been sewing for 2021. It's great. She says, when sewing the bust dart in a knit, especially a Slinky type knit, do you usually raise the bust dart a specific amount so it doesn't end up too low? Well, yes, I'd likely raise it, but a specific amount, that's really a hard one to say. Somebody else the other day in our Facebook group asked me for specific proxy rules for sewing with knits, and I had to chuckle because unfortunately I can't tell you exact rules. There is a guideline in our learning center. There's a video there that talks about sewing with knit fabrics, and that if you stretch, you want to reduce your dots down when you're drawing off your pattern. But besides that, it's not possible for me to say absolutely you have to remove 1 dot, or absolutely you have to remove 2 dots, or absolutely raise your dart tip up a 1/2 inch. It's all going to depend on how stretchy that fabric is. So my recommendation is baste. Baste the side seams and baste the dart position so that you could remove it and lift it up if you needed to. I know I sewed one of my tank tops that was out of a black Slinky, and I absolutely had to raise that dart tip up. So I guess if I was to give you a guideline at all, if the knit has vertical stretch as well as horizontal stretch, then if it's something like Slinky, you can likely assume that you're going to have to raise it up about 3/8 to 1/2 inch. But again, that's my best guess. But if the knit doesn't have any vertical stretch, you shouldn't be raising it up that much. Do we have a raglan sleeve option? Yes. During our summer last year, we did a Sew Simple series on shirts, and there I showed you how to design a raglan sleeve, and we also have a leaflet on that as well. And you can find that raglan sleeve design and sew along in our academy, which is sewfitacademyonline.com. Lovely comment here. I'm from the New Orleans area. I've been using SureFit Designs for about 4 years and still loving it. Thank you very much for saying that. Let's see. Is a designing instruction sheet available for purchase? I don't exactly know what that question means, so you might need to be a little bit more specific. We have lots of different designing leaflets. If you go to digital sewing patterns, then that's under all of our shop tabs, digital sewing patterns. You're going to see lots and lots of different ideas to design with your kits. And this is an interesting comment from a lady by the name of Marianne. Is the idea that you don't need to buy patterns anymore, you design your own? Well, basically the answer to that is yes, Marianne. You draw what I call your body blueprint, which in the industry is also known as your sloper. And then once your sloper is designed to fit your body, then what you do is design with it, because your blueprint fits you. Now everything that you design is going to fit you as well. You don't need to worry about sloping shoulders or sway back. You've already worked that out in your blueprint. And so yes, now don't throw out all of your existing commercial patterns. They're great for ideas. We also have a video called Fitting Commercial Patterns, which is going to show you how to use your SureFit Designs blueprint to size that commercial pattern or to fit that commercial pattern. So you can use the design ideas from your commercial patterns, but in theory, you should never need to buy another commercial pattern. I keep referring to some of the comments that I read in my Facebook, but there was a lady not long ago who'd been using SureFit Designs for 10 years, and she said, I absolutely love it. I've never bought another commercial pattern since then. So that's basically the idea. And we as distributors and teachers can help build your confidence in designing a pattern for yourself. That's the whole purpose of our design and sew-alongs that we put in our academy, and of course in our leaflets and the online help that we give you. Okay, I get another question here. Would it work to use gathers instead of a bust dart when sewing with a Slinky knit? Sure, you can turn that space into gathers very easily. This is a really good question. How do you completely remove the dart for very stretchy fabrics? If you want to make a t-shirt without a dart, in the Learning Center, there is an article. It's not a video yet. Go to the article library and go down under, I think it's drawing and designing. There's an article there that says how to remove the dart for a t-shirt. That gives you full directions step by step. But I've also had that asked of me to do in one of these demonstrations, so I likely will do that coming up here in the future. Here's an interesting question. Can the dart designing ruler, which I'm presuming whoever asked that question, it was a name that I can't pronounce, must be, this is not called a dart designing ruler. This is called the Adjust-A-Bust template. It is found within the dress kit, and it is specifically to work with our surefitdesigns patterns. It's not intended to work with other commercial patterns. And so if you've lost it, yes, we can sell you one individually, but we don't sell them individually to people who don't have the surefitdesigns dress kits because it wouldn't be a functional item for you. I have the second edition of all 4 kits. Has the patterns changed within the newer editions that have been released? Well, yes, over our 39 years, we've been updating as many times as we can to keep everything current. So from the second edition, there has been a change made to the pant pattern. The high hip dot was added. The instruction book is now the 5th edition. And in the dress kit, we have added a collar collection, a different sleeve. What else have we done in there? We're on our 6th edition dress book. Lots of new things have been added. In the shirt kit, has very definitely been updated. In 2015, we removed all of the seam allowances. I changed the distribution of the ease between the front and the back so it's more equally distributed. So yes, lots of changes in the pattern since the 2nd edition. Oh, this is an excellent question from Uncluttered Creative. What is the best way to preserve our master patterns once we have them fitted? Well, I actually will draw my master patterns on Pellon, which is a thicker interfacing. It's non-stretch, it's not iron-on, it's Pellon, P-E-L-L-O-N. And get a medium to heavy weight, and you can draw your master pattern. I don't want to say your master pattern because that's what's in the kits. It's the blueprint of your body. You can draw that on Pellon and then just use it, put a piece of vellum, tracing vellum over top to draw on your copied design and any design changes that you make. And another way to preserve your blueprint is to put it on oak tag board. I personally don't do that because I can roll my Pellon up and it takes up less space, but lots of people copy their blueprint onto oak tag board and then hang it in a closet area. So there's different ways to preserve your blueprint so that all you need to do is just, lay a piece of tracing vellum over top to copy it, and then you can draw on your next new designs. Can we use the dress kit with no dart at all? Well, yes, if you don't have a bust line, and I'm not being facetious when I say that. We have lots of ladies who have had mastectomies and don't care to have prosthesis, and they actually are using the dress kit without the bust dart. So you can remove the bust dart and use it that way as well, so that you end up with a closer fitting garment than what the shirt kit is going to give you. Let's see. Well, I'm not exactly sure. There's somebody here said, Dimples, could you please demonstrate that? And I don't know what it is that you wanted demonstrated, so I'm sorry about that. Can I use the dress kit to sew an Indian sari blouse? Absolutely. Could I please show how to remove the dart? Yes, I'm going to work that up likely for one of the next chats. Let's see. Benita Harms, are the future updates available as just the update so that I won't have to buy the complete kit again? Yes, when there is a major update like a new instruction book or pattern piece that's been added, we will advertise that and you can get just the pattern only. And thank you for your anniversary wishes coming from Christina Stefan. That's wonderful of you. Thank you. Monique Robinson, do you make all your pattern alterations such as moving the dart before adding seam allowances? Excellent question, Monique. The answer to that is it's a good idea to do it without the seam allowances. And the reason is seam allowances can really confuse the eyeballs. How do I know? Trust me, I've been there. I've tried to do it without removing the seam allowances, and then I just go, so what is this line supposed to be? What is this line supposed to be? And when you get things all kind of shifted around, so much easier to do it without seam allowances and then add the seam allowances at the end. Unless, of course, it's something like super, super simple. And how is my time getting to be? I know, we're going on to 12 o'clock here, so I know that I've run over my 30 to 40 minutes. I love your questions, I really do, but I know that our production manager, David, has another engagement this afternoon, and I am going to have to close this down. But I want to leave you with a very, very important message. Let's call it an inspirational note. Since SureFit Designs, our goal for 2021 is to make this an inspirational year for you. I'm going to leave you with a comment that came from one of my customers. This was maybe, I don't know, a month ago. I don't remember the reason why she called me, but we got to talking, and she said, I've been a psychologist all my life. That's what she had studied. And she said, there are studies coming out that say that we can keep our aging brains active by sewing. And it's not just sewing things that we've done a million times. It's sewing new things and challenging our brain with new activities. So it's the brain, the eye, and the hand coordination that really helps to keep our brain from atrophying and going into dementia. And I share this with you because I said, again, I was talking with this customer. I said, I thought that was the case with anything, that if you're teaching yourself new things, that you're helping your brain to stay active and healthy. And she said, yes, that's true, but it's sewing in particular that really makes the difference. And she didn't know exactly what it was about sewing, but she said, sewing and learning new things. So you can all be very, very grateful for a skill that you all know. Challenge yourself with something new in 2021. Learn something different. I get so many emails from customers saying, I never ever thought I would enjoy designing a pattern by myself, but I almost enjoy designing the pattern more than I do sewing it now. And that's really heartwarming for me because I know that lots and lots of you are learning new things with SureFit Designs. So with that, again, I would like to thank you for participating in our anniversary live chat. I hope to see you next month, and we actually have a couple of new products coming online, so we may be doing something in between then and in February. So keep watch for our advertising and our newsletter announcements. And again, have a wonderful day and evening, ladies, depending on where you are. And thank you so much for participating, and I'll see you in the next chat.